Shedeur Sanders shocks NFL with secret prime equity KFC contract clause. The NFL thought it was just a KFC stunt, until Shedeur Sanders dropped the contract clause that made execs panic.
These hot and spicy wings, they're the truth. And these wedges right here, light and fluffy. What more can you ask? Say come get them, say go. And they hot too. Come get them. What's really hot is the roof of my mouth.
Cleveland wasn't supposed to erupt like this over fried chicken. But on that gray spring afternoon, the corner of East 105th and St. Clair was transformed into a carnival of noise, hope, and something far deeper. Lines wrapped around the block. Fathers hoisted sons onto their shoulders, just to catch a glimpse. Bass from car speakers shook the pavement, as Shedeur Sanders stepped out in KFC red. Not a jersey. People weren't just hungry. They were watching, recording, chanting. QB echoed between the brick buildings like a new gospel. A rookie quarterback, no games played, no touchdowns thrown, was suddenly the most talked about name in the city. And yet it didn't feel like hype. It felt strategic. As reporters jockeyed for angles and fans waved chicken boxes in the air like rally towels, Shedeur moved differently. Calm. Calculated. Like he knew something the NFL didn't. They thought it was a harmless family promo. But inside that crowd beneath the wings and wedges, a contract clause was waiting to detonate. One that would spark a marketing shift the league never saw coming. It wasn't just a KFC stunt. It was a message. The NFL just got played. And Shedeur Sanders was holding the pen. Before Shedeur Sanders ever took a collegiate snap, his name already echoed with weight. Not just because of the surname, but because of the legacy stitched into it. Deion Sanders wasn't just a Hall of Famer. He was flash and fire, gold chains and gold jackets. A two-sport icon who turned confidence into culture and left defenders spinning in his wake. Primetime didn't just dominate. He defined. But legacy is a double-edged sword. For every LeBron Jr., there's a Marcus Jordan. The shadow of greatness has crushed many sons before they ever had a chance to breathe. Shedeur was different. From youth leagues to National Signing Day, he moved like someone who respected the crown but refused to borrow it. At Jackson State, he didn't just play for his father. Amid doubters who dismissed HBCU competition, he shattered records and raised eyebrows. Then came Colorado. Brighter lights, bigger stage, same poise. This wasn't a boy trying to live up to his father. It was a man executing his own playbook. While other legacy athletes chase approval, Shedeur crafts advantage. Every move, from his brand deals to his post-game quotes, is measured, strategic, controlled. He inherited Prime's DNA, but forged his own tempo, cool under pressure, calculated in chaos. He's not Deion's son trying to be great. He's Shedeur Sanders, the one who's turning the family name into something even bigger. It started like a family prank. 3 brothers, 3 cities, 250 KFC fill-ups. Winner gets bragging rights, and maybe a shout-out from Coach Prime. The media treated it like comic relief between OTAs and training camp. ESPN tossed it in a feel-good montage. Twitter laughed. Instagram swiped past it. In Dallas, Deion Jr. danced through drive-thrus with a selfie stick in one hand and a chicken leg in the other. In Tampa, Shiloh cracked jokes, called himself the real Prime, and took pictures like a hometown DJ at a high school pep rally. Then there was Cleveland. No dancing, no noise, just Shedeur, hood up, head down, watching. He wasn't filming. He was serving. While his brothers went viral, Shedeur was building something quieter, something sharper. He tracked reactions, logged faces, gauged crowd energy. He spoke with kids, shook hands with store owners, and made every moment feel like a campaign stop, not a giveaway. It didn't feel like it felt like research. Later, when the footage rolled and numbers poured in, analysts scratched their heads, because buried under the branding was a clause no one saw coming. One that would flip this stunt into a strategic masterstroke. Shedeur wasn't playing the same game. He was rewriting it. Buried in the fine print beneath the smiles, the chicken, the cameras, was a clause that would send shockwaves through the NFL's marketing departments. It wasn't just a giveaway. It was a litmus test. Weeks before the KFC stunt ever hit social media, Shedeur Sanders and his team had sat across the table from a corporate boardroom, with one bold proposal. If the Cleveland event surpassed specific engagement metrics, foot traffic, click-through rates, branded mentions, he wouldn't just walk away with a bonus. He'd walk away with equity. Not a sponsorship, not a fee, ownership, prime equity, they called it. It was a page out of his father's playbook, but rewritten for a generation that thinks in algorithms and brand valuation. Fans lined up thinking they were getting free fill-up. What they really gave was data, passion, turnout, media velocity. Every handshake, every selfie, every repost was fuel. And when the final metrics came in, Shedeur had cleared every benchmark by double digits. He didn't just win a contest, he proved a model. For decades, rookies have signed on dotted lines that made them assets. Performers bought and sold for talent and ticket sales. But Shedeur flipped that. He showed that cultural capital could be just as powerful as combined stats. That if you move people, you move market. Now marketing teams across the league are scrambling to revise their contracts. Agents are rethinking clauses. Owners are rethinking influence. Because a 23-year-old quarterback just reminded the NFL of something powerful. Value isn't just measured in yards or touchdowns. It's measured in moments. And in Cleveland, Shedeur Sanders just owned one. Literally. It didn't take long. One afternoon, one appearance. That's all it took for Cleveland to claim Shedeur Sanders as their own. The lines weren't just for chicken. They were declarations of belief. A kid from Tyler, Texas, who hadn't thrown a single regular season NFL pass, was being treated like a returning savior. We don't need Flacco anymore. A fan yelled from a lifted pickup. Windows down. Shedeur's own track blaring from the speakers. Let him save the city. The chant caught fire. Phones came out. Selfies, hugs, tears. Kids clung to his legs. Grandmothers handed him handwritten letters. And Shedeur, he didn't blink. He smiled. He thanked them. He signed every wrapper, every napkin, every jersey like it was the Super Bowl trophy. But there was a calm in his eyes. A calm that said, I expected this. I'm built for this. Social media lit up. One tweet read, "This man's been here 1 week and feels more Cleveland than half our roster." Another, "The city just fell in love and he didn't even have to throw a pass." What made it special wasn't the volume. It was the connection. The way he looked fans in the eye. The way he handled Flacco comparisons with humility and grace. "That's my guy," he said. "I respect the ones who came before me." But the city wasn't asking for respect. It was asking for resurrection. And Shedeur answered with presence, poise and a quiet promise. To the untrained eye, it looked like charity. A quarterback handing out chicken in a city he barely knew. But beneath the grease-stained boxes and 1,000-watt smiles, Shedeur Sanders was conducting one of the sharpest brand studies the NFL has ever seen. He watched, listened, logged details the average rookie wouldn't think twice about. What neighborhoods showed up early? What age groups lingered longer? Who asked for autographs? And who asked about the team? He adjusted his energy in real time, shifting from hype man to hometown son, depending on who stood in front of him. It wasn't improvisation. It was data collection. Real-time emotional analytics. One moment he joked with teenagers about music. The next he dropped his tone, looked a single mother in the eye and told her, "Cleveland's gonna be proud of what we build." He wasn't guessing what this city needed. He was learning it. Fortune 500 companies spend millions trying to unlock consumer loyalty. Shedeur did it with fried chicken and emotional IQ. He didn't just engage. He embedded. This wasn't a pop-up event. It was a soft launch of a new kind of franchise player. One who doesn't just play for the city, but with it. And Cleveland felt it instantly. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a quarterback. He's a content studio, a strategist and a CEO wrapped in shoulder pads and vision. Before he ever took an NFL snap, he already had a verified brand. Not just highlights and hype, but music videos self-produced, sponsorships self-negotiated, and an online following more loyal than some franchises. He co-writes his own contracts, edits his own reels, drops tracks on Friday and throws touchdowns on Sunday. Every post, every drop, every handshake, calculated, controlled. This isn't ego, it's evolution. He's the face of a generation raised on algorithms and NAL. Gen Z doesn't wait to be marketed. They are the market. Shedeur's fans don't just follow him, they buy into the lifestyle, the message, the movement. They see a young man building something bigger than football. They see themselves. He's not here to ask for your attention. He owns it. Like Ali with the mic, or Mayweather with the money. Shedeur understands that narrative is power. But unlike those before him, he's doing it in real time. One tweet, one song, one city at a time. He's not just playing the game. He's redefining what it means to win off the field. In Cleveland, Payne wears a jersey hung on a wall in a downtown sports bar. It starts with Couch and ends with Watson. 20-some names stitched down the back, each crossed out, each a promise broken. Johnny Manziel was supposed to electrify. Baker Mayfield was supposed to heal. Deshaun Watson was supposed to reset everything. None did. Every fall Sunday, hope bloomed early and withered fast. Fans clutched beers, stared at screens, and wondered aloud, why always us? The city didn't just lose games. It lost trust. Year after year, quarterback after quarterback. Flash, flame out, repeat. The pain wasn't in the losing. It was in the believing. But then came Shedeur. No media circus. No overhyped declarations. Just calm, presence, poise. He didn't strut. He stood. And somehow that steadiness felt like a revolution. It wasn't about stats or swagger. It was about something deeper. Restoration. You could see it in the way he spoke with fans, listened to kids, nodded through noise. The city watched closely, cautious and bruised. But in that Cleveland KFC parking lot, surrounded by fans chanting his name, they didn't just want a quarterback. They wanted someone to believe in. And for the first time in a long time, they just might have found him. This wasn't luck. This was legacy strategy, pulled straight from the mind of a man who redefined swagger and system alike. Coach Prime didn't just teach Shedeur how to read defenses. He taught him how to read rooms, media rooms, board rooms, locker rooms. The KFC event wasn't a feel-good experiment. It was a field test, a meticulously crafted mission, because Shedeur Sanders has always played a different game. Long before NAL deals and brand equity became buzzwords, he was the prototype, part athlete, part icon, full control. Now his son is the extension of that vision. The playbook was never just about football. It was about narrative dominance. Own your story or someone else will. That's the creed Shedeur instilled. Every appearance, every post, every mic moment, it's leverage. Shedeur wasn't just participating in a stunt. He was executing a multi-layered strategy drawn from the Prime school of power. Blend authenticity with intention. Move hearts, but move markets too. This is the Prime blueprint, crossing generational lines. And in Cleveland, it just took form in a younger body, sharper suit, and subtler tone. Shedeur isn't just his father's son. He's the next evolution of Deion's design. And the league is finally starting to realize this wasn't just a viral moment. It was a shift in gravitational pull. A rookie, not yet suited up for a regular season snap, managed to stir something Cleveland hadn't felt in years. Trust, not the blind, desperate kind built on highlight reels and hype. This was different, grounded, earned. Shedeur Sanders isn't here to be measured by yardage charts or rookie rankings. He's stepping into something much heavier, a city's hope, handed off like a sacred burden. And he's carrying it with calm, like he's been preparing for this moment his entire life. This story was never about fast food, contracts, or clever branding. It's about alignment, between a quarterback and a city starved for someone to believe in, between a legacy name and a new narrative. Can one player rewrite the rules of rookie influence? Can he build a franchise not just on passes, but on presence? We've seen stars burn bright. We've seen prodigies flame out. But what we're witnessing now, this feels different. Because sometimes it's not just about the rise of a player. It's the rise of an era. And in Cleveland, it's already in motion.